On this International Women's Day, welcome to Empowering Women, Public Space and Climate Change, with a special focus on care. Our public spaces, parks, streets, community centres are more than just concrete and steel. They are the lifeblood of our communities. These spaces can be reimagined as beacons of care, especially in the face of climate change. We need a paradigm shift, a care revolution. This revolution recognises the interconnectedness of people and the planet. It prioritises the well-being of all, especially the most vulnerable. Traditional urban planning often overlooks the needs of women, children, the elderly, and marginalized communities. A care-centered approach challenges this status quo. It asks, who is being served by this space? How can we design for accessibility, safety, and inclusivity? These questions are central to building climate resilience. When we create public spaces that prioritize care, we foster a sense of belonging and collective responsibility. This approach moves beyond simply mitigating the impacts of climate change. It seeks to transform the very systems that perpetuate both social and ecological injustice. This means dismantling patriarchal structures that have long undervalued care work. It means centering the voices and experiences of women, particularly women of color, who have been at the forefront of caregiving and environmental stewardship for generations. Women, especially those from marginalized communities, bear a disproportionate burden of the climate crisis. They often lack access to resources and decision-making power, yet they are leading the charge for climate justice, drawing on their lived experiences and deep understanding of care. From Indigenous women protecting their ancestral lands to mothers fighting for clean air in their neighborhoods, women are mobilizing for change. They are organizing their communities, advocating for policy changes, and implementing innovative solutions. These women understand that climate change is not just an environmental issue, it is a social justice issue, a human rights issue. Their leadership is rooted in a care ethic that values interdependence, empathy, and collective well-being. This ethic stands in stark contrast to the dominant paradigm of individualism and competition that has fueled our current crisis. By embracing a care-centered approach, we can shift power dynamics and create a more just and sustainable future for all. Care-centered design can transform public spaces into engines of climate resilience. Parks become more than just green spaces. They become vital infrastructure for cooling cities and mitigating the urban heat island effect. Community gardens provide fresh, local produce while fostering social cohesion and climate education. Public transportation systems designed with care in mind prioritize accessibility, affordability, and safety, reducing reliance on private vehicles and promoting equitable access to opportunities. These are just a few examples of how care can be woven into the fabric of our cities and towns. By investing in care-driven infrastructure, we can create communities that are not only more resilient to climate impacts, but also more equitable and just. This requires a fundamental shift in how we value and invest in public goods. It means moving away from short-term, profit-driven solutions towards long-term, community-centered approaches. Around the world, women are leading the way in demonstrating the transformative power of care in action. Across our diverse network of partners and collaborators of empowering women, public space and climate change, there are inspiring projects and initiatives building climate-resilient livelihoods and safer public spaces for all. Across Europe and beyond, there are communities mobilizing to advocate for clean air and a livable climate for their children. These initiatives and countless others like them are seeds of change, demonstrating the power of care to heal our communities and our planet. These are not isolated examples, but rather part of a growing global movement led by women who are redefining what it means to lead with care. They are showing us that another world is possible, a world where the well-being of people and the planet are inextricably linked.